blacklist. I never want to hear that music again.
What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for watching. You're watching Road Dogs TV. I'm Vicky Vicious with Heavenly Trip to Hell.
And I'm Susie Q, Road Dogs TV.
Woo! Thank you so much for watching. Today we have a super special show. We have a bunch of really cool guests. Who do we have?
We have two-time award-winning Stephanie Mendez.
Woo! Awesome. Then we have a band.
Yes, we have Juvenile Rex.
All right, and they're from the LBC.
We love our locals.
Yes.
We got our favorite, Mojo and Diablo
in the house. And then the Hustleaholic Corner, you guys already know, the H2, they're always coming through. And they have Optimistic Prime. So stick around, you guys. We have a super cool show. We love you guys for watching. Tell everybody that you know about us. And if you know any bands, if you know any artists, please tell them about us. Tell them where to reach us.
Yes, hit us up on our Instagram and our Facebook. We're always looking to support our local artists. We want you on our show. We want to go to your show as well.
Yes.
So hit us up.
Yes.
Don't be shy.
Yes. Find us. Road Dogs TV. What's up, you guys? I'm Vicky Vicious with Heavenly Trip to Hell. Thank you so much for watching. You're watching Road Dogs TV.
What's up, everyone? And this is Susie Q, and I'm so excited to be back at PatNet on this beautiful Saturday here in Long Beach. And we have a very special guest today. We have Stephanie Mendez. Stephanie, can you tell everybody a little bit about you?
I'm an Emmy award-winning journalist and producer. I'm originally from Santa Ana, but I live in Long Beach.
How long did you live in Santa Ana, and when did you decide to come to Long Beach?
Well, so Santa Ana, as you guys know, is in Orange County,
Yes.
and I actually my whole life wanted to leave Orange County so bad, honestly.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel you.
And LA, for me, I mean, I've always loved LA. My parents used to take us all the time when I was a kid, and you know, growing up like in the backyard, you know, punk scene and going to like punk shows, it was always in LA. We would always get in the van, go to LA. So there was never any doubt in my mind that I would eventually end up in LA County.
Nice.
And when I went to college, I actually went to Cal State Long Beach.
All right. Shout out Cal State Long Beach.
Got my bachelor's degree there and my master's degree there.
Wow.
In what?
So I got my bachelor's in English literature and I minored in journalism. Wow. And then after that, I started working actually right out of graduation. Like I graduated and like 3 days later, I started a full-time job at ABC News.
Wow.
As a production assistant.
Wow. You've been doing it for decades now.
Well, yeah. And, well, so I was already, you know, I think I had been at ABC for 2 to 3 years, and I really wanted to go back to school. Like, my passion for literature and writing, it had never gone away, and I just kept thinking to myself, like, I really want my master's degree, and I really want to go back to school. So
You are a lady and a scholar.
No. And I actually took a step back.
Yes.
From producing, from working, you know, in corporate media, and I said, I'm going back to school.
Okay.
So I went to Cal State Long Beach, and I got my master's in English literature, but I focused on critical race theory, which, you know, as we know, has been under fire for a long time. And so Long Beach, I think, you know, again, big fan of LA County and you know, all of my friends live in LA. I went to shows in LA. That was really like where my heart was at. But I think because of my experience going to Cal State Long Beach and just seeing the community up close and making friends here, it was a no-brainer. Like, okay, well, I'm leaving Santa Ana. I'm coming to Long Beach.
Yeah. That's
and Long
awesome.
Beach is so diverse, right?
Yeah.
Like
Super diverse.
that's what like I feel like attracts so many people to Long Beach. There's so many different cultures, so much going on with like art and music, and it's amazing.
To your point, there's a lot of culture, but the community, I think, is so rich as well, right? In arts, music. Like, we have, like, one of the best music scenes, I think, in almost all of LA. And don't get me wrong, right? Like, East LA has their thing, Hollywood has their thing, but Long Beach also is really strong when it comes to music.
Yes, absolutely. Earlier, you were talking to us about your Emmys, and I would like for you to kind of touch on that. What was it that got you that Emmy, the 2 Emmys, so that our audience kind of gets a little more diverse background on you?
Yeah, of course. So I was part of this core group at ABC News called Uvalde 365. So as you guys know, there was a mass shooting in Uvalde, in which 21 people were killed, 19 of them being kids, and 2 teachers.
Sad.
Yeah. So our team was essentially deployed to Uvalde for a year. And we were embedded with the families of the survivors, families who lost their kids, teachers, basically people who were directly impacted in the community. And so we were there for a year, and it was a large team of us. And we were spearheaded by an executive producer there named Cindy Galley. It was her idea, and she brought it to fruition. And for me, I mean, I don't have roots in Texas, right? Like I'm born and raised here. But I felt like I was really affected when I first heard the news about Uvalde because I am a first generation Mexican American.
For sure.
And this is a tragedy that impacted a largely Mexican American Latino community. And so for me, it kind of like hit close to home in that sense. Like when I looked at these families and I looked at the community, I thought, this mirrors my community and, you know, the people that I'm around. And so I felt very driven in that sense to be deployed there. We released a 2-hour-long documentary. It's on Hulu. You can watch it. It's called It Happened Here, A Year in Uvalde. So it's through Hulu in 2020 at ABC News, and it won an Emmy Award in September for as part of like the documentary Emmys that they have. And the other Emmy that I won was because I helped field produce a project at ABC News Studios for Hulu called Rap Trap Hip Hop on Trial.
Wow.
And it centers around this basis that we see time and time again that rappers tend to be targeted by the U.S. government, by politicians and the judicial system, and we don't really see that happening, with Caucasian artists, white artists, and so there's a very kind of like clear racial dynamic, right, that's taking place here. So that won an Emmy Award, and it was my first time ever, being nominated. We actually had, I think, I counted, and I believe I had about 6 nominations in total for the projects I was on. So I thought, like, if I just win one, like, that'll be really cool. And, having gone from never being nominated before to walking away with 2, I was like, what?
You're on heaven.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, I grew up below the poverty line. I grew up in a single parent household. I grew up, in an impoverished community where people, they're lucky if they graduate from high school. Right? My parents were high school dropouts. They're immigrants. They came from Mexico. They worked really hard. But I just didn't think it was possible for someone like me, someone coming from, my kind of background, to end up in New York, at the Palladium, at the Emmy Awards. I was like, what? How is this my life,
That's awesome.
I think that's so beautiful to have that experience and then be able to share that, like, with our audience.
You're setting an example for everybody, you know what I mean? Being a woman, being Mexican American, all of it.
I appreciate
winning
that.
Emmys, doing the shit,
doing
the corporate world, and then because that's not where I met you. I met you while I was volunteering at the Fullerton Museum for the punk rock exhibit. And you happened to walk in, and I saw you, and I was like, who is this girl, And I saw your little media pass, and I was like, who is this? And then, we talked, and then I, like, went through your Instagram, and I was like, yes, absolutely. We need to have her on Road Dogs TV. We need to, help inspire our youth, showing everyone that, like, dude, if I can do it, you can do it. You're like a walking pioneer of that. So I think it's amazing. Let's talk about a little bit about your punk rock roots.
Yeah, so I got into punk rock when I was in middle school. I think I was in 7th grade, and honestly, I started out as a total poser, and I say that. I mean, look, we can all say that. We can all say that, right? Yeah. But hear me out. What first got me attracted to punk rock wasn't the music. It was the look.
Fashion.
The
fashion.
Literally.
100%. Yes.
I remember there was like a small group of like cool kids.
Yes.
They were like, I think like a grade older. So they were in 8th grade. I was in 7th grade. And I just remember thinking like, whoa, like they look so cool. Like they had choppy dyed hair. They wore like Dickies jackets with like all the pins and patches.
Yeah.
I think looking back, I think that I can see that as a 7th grader, having had grown up the way I did, I I saw the empowerment. Yeah. I remember I went to Hot Topic and, I bought a bunch of stupid patches like the Nautical Star.
Yes.
I remember putting that on my Dickies jacket thinking I was so cool. Like, I was really, I'm still really into No Doubt. They're still one of my favorite bands. I bought a bunch of like No Doubt pins and, I started looking the part. But, when you start dressing punk, you attract people who, undoubtedly, exactly, are going to question you and be like, you're wearing like, a NoFX shirt, like name 3 songs.
Yeah.
Right? So then I realized, crap, like I need to figure out
who are they?
Like, who are they? Who are these
Let
bands?
me find out.
Exactly. So I bought the Vans Warped Tour compilation and Punkorama 8.
Yes.
And man, those CDs changed my life, man. And they introduced me to bands that I ended up like just being in love with, like NoFX being one of them, The Unseen, Tsunami Bomb, The Distillers. Those are kind of like my starter kit, like punk bands. Yeah. The way that I kind of moved more into like writing about punk, I believe when I was around 18 years old, I entered a contest online on MySpace, actually. So this, I think, was like 2008. And so Big Wheel Magazine had this MySpace page, and they had a contest to win 2 free tickets to see X with the New York Dolls. At what is that? The Nokia Club Nokia.
Club
yes.
Nokia.
And I entered and I won.
What?
And someone was like, "Yeah." So I went to go see X. I had a really great experience. My girlfriends and I, we were underage, right? We couldn't drink. But we got drunk. We were pre-gaming in the parking lot.
What else are you going to do at an show?
When you're 18 years old, right? You have
When in Rome.
Exactly. We had a blast. Like, we were partying all night.
That's awesome.
Real
crowd
rock.
surfing. Just having a great time. And, me, because I liked writing, I wrote about the experience. And I actually sent it back to Big Wheel Magazine. And I said, "Hey, guys, thank you so much for the tickets. I know you didn't." Yes.
Wow.
I said, "I know that you didn't specifically ask me to do it, but I thought it'd be fun to do a write-up of the night. Here you go." And they actually published it on their website. And then the editor came back to me. He emailed me like a couple of days later and said, "Hey, this was really great. We got a lot of hits on it. How would you like to write for us full time?"
Nice.
And after that, I started, covering like the punk rock scene in the greater Los Angeles area. And I was writing about everything, like doing shows at, big venues like the Key Club, the Fonda, Knitting Factory, but also like local, like DIY shows, backyard gigs. Yeah. We didn't get paid for it. It was really driven by the love of the music, which I know you guys can relate to.
Yes. 100%.
And I got to benefit from like free tickets to shows and things like that. But
that's the best payment.
Literally, literally the best type, right?
Yeah.
And I think after a couple of years of doing it, I just figured, well, why don't I add a minor in journalism and take some journalism classes, step up my game, and be a little bit more, skillful about it. And it just went from there.
Wow. How did you get involved with the show at the museum, at the Fullerton Museum?
Yeah, so I actually, I do a lot of freelance writing on the side on top of what I do. Okay. And most of that freelance writing focuses on like music, the arts, but specifically punk rock. And actually, I wrote an article, a feature for the LA Times on the Punk Rock Museum.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. What other things have you got going on right now? So what would be like a dream?
Dreams.
Yeah.
Oh,
Future
man.
dreams.
Okay, honestly, like... I know the Emmys are a big deal, but I'm a writer by default. A Pulitzer Prize would be amazing.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
If we're talking about like leisure stuff, Punk Rock Bowling is next week. Okay. When I was writing for Big Wheel Magazine, they actually asked me in 2010, like, "Hey, do you want to go to Vegas and cover this festival?" And I was like, "Hell yeah." So I went, and I think that was the weekend that I realized, I think I want to be a professional music journalist. Yeah. Maybe I do want to take things to the next level and do something more with it, right? Yeah. And it was because of all the talent that I got to witness up close at Punk Rock Bowling. Yes. But I remember, they had reporters from LA Weekly there, Alternative Press, all of these places. I think that's when things kind of really clicked, and I was like, you know what? Like, I would love to professionally cover this. I would love to professionally approach these artists. You know what I mean? So
giving them real justice and real coverage.
And that's something that's a really important point, Susie, that I kind of realized that weekend as well, right? Is that like, at the end of the day, who gets to tell our stories in the punk scene, metal scene, ska, whatever you listen to? And a lot of the times, it does tend to be normies, normie writers who didn't come up in the scene, didn't grow up in it, they don't really know about it, and they're kind of outsiders looking in, and they don't get it, but we do.
Yes.
And so why not us?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Why shouldn't we
yes.
be the storytellers?
Yes.
More than that, like, these are worlds that we understand directly,
Yes.
and we understand it better than other people,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
I want to know, what do you get as like a response when you show up and you tell people you're, a journalist and like you look like this,
I will say that I do tend to tone it down when it comes to like these.
There's a time and a place.
Exactly. These kind of like more, I don't know, mainstream or commercial shoots that I do as a producer. But even so, I mean, I can't hide the purple hair.
Right.
Right? Like, and so every now and then I will run into other producers or people who ask me like, oh, like, do you think you'll ever dye your hair black? I mean, do you think that maybe like you should, tone it down a little bit? And I'm just like, no, it has nothing to do with my talent. I just tell them straight up, like, my purple hair has nothing to do with my professionalism or my talent. So,
and it's fashionable and it's great.
Yeah. So. I'm like, it's not relevant at all to what I know how to do, to my skill set. So I don't really see the point or find that it's necessary. I had a really hard time, I think, at like really early on in my career because I felt like I had to try so hard to be professional and to prove that professionalism and to look the part, to look as normal.
To fit in. Yeah.
Exactly, to fit in. And I kind of felt like I was losing a sense of myself. Losing my identity.
Yes.
And
you should always be yourself, no matter what.
Exactly. And I think that for a long time I grappled with how do I coalesce the two?
Yes.
How do I coalesce like this the actual like punk rock persona that I am?
Yes.
Right? Like my inherent like, I don't know, natural personality.
Yes.
How do I combine that with like this very kind of stiff, I don't know, white collar, corporate landscape? And I think that comes with time and the more confident that you become in yourself. And I think confidence is key.
100,
right?
yes.
I think that with age, the more confident I became, the more kind of like segura, as my mom says, that I just kind of like grew into my own. And eventually it just got to the point where like I wasn't wearing these like stupid turtlenecks that I got from Forever 21 or like the little cardigan sweaters to fit in. And it was just like, show up to work and I don't know, like my jeans, black t-shirt, my leather jacket, sometimes. And, just be myself.
I work at a law firm, so I totally, you know what I mean, all day. But I just show up as myself every single day. And, I feel like if you feel good, if you're being yourself and you feel good, you're going to perform better. And, like you said, you're going to have more confidence and it shows. So thank you so much for coming on the show. You are an amazing person. Please keep doing everything that you're doing. And can you tell us how can our viewers find you? Do you have social media?
Yes,
how can we get in contact?
So I think if you want to keep up with any of my work, I have a website, stephmendez.com. That's where you can find out everything I'm up to, news, updates, etc. I'm also on Instagram, Steph Hates Punk.
Yes.
One H. The H is shared by my name, Steph, and the word hates.
Okay.
So Steph Hates Punk.
All right. Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Just shout out to Long Beach.
Yes.
I love the LBC. We're the best. And shout out to everyone in Santa Ana that I came up with. And shout out to everyone that loves this madre.
Yes.
Keep
All right,
having
guys.
me.
Yeah, stick around. We got a lot more coming up. We got the Hustleaholics coming up. We got other guests coming up. I think a band.
Yes.
So stick around. We got a lot more. Don't change that dial and roll that video.
Road Dogs TV, Long Beach Community Unity, motherfucker. Road Dogs